That is fun.
And the headline here, is there a conservative position on UFOs and aliens? Everyone from Barack Obama to Donald Trump is weighing in on the upcoming government report about mysterious sightings. Here's what it says here. Forthcoming report has both Democrats and Republicans weighing in on unidentified flying objects, leading to a question the Pentagon is unlikely to address. Is there partisan divide when it comes to ET? Great. While there's no official party line on the subject.
Because if there's not, we need to create one.
I was going to say, yeah, this is going to be the you Republicans and you hate alien haters.
Yeah, we must create the divide.
Not all aliens are illegal aliens. While there's no official party line on the subject, some big names have been talking about UFOs lately, including Harry Reid and Donald Trump, and even a prominent journal of conservative thought has taken on the topic. Reid, a former Democratic leader of the Senate, has said he is fascinated by UFOs, having grown up in rural Nevada, a few hours' drive away from the extraterrestrial highway that leads to Area 51, classified U.S. Air Force facility. In 2007, Reid was one of the 3 lawmakers, 2 Republicans and a Democrat, who helped to secure funding for the study of UFOs. Trump, the former president, recently sounded skeptical of extraterrestrial visitors in an interview, saying that he doesn't want to ruin anyone's fun, but that he is, quote, not such a believer. Quote, I'm sort of a believer in what you see, Trump said recently on the Dan Bongino show. But some people are. What? But some people are, period. I don't want to hurt their dreams or their fears. Interesting. What, their dreams about aliens and their he doesn't want to hurt their fears? What are you talking about? I don't get what he's crazy. It was just Trump.
Who said that? Dan Bongino?
No, I think Trump said it.
Oh.
Well,
that makes more sense.
Yeah. Let the record show, however, that the order to release the much anticipated report on what the government calls unidentified aerial phenomena was a provision of a COVID-19 relief package signed by then President Trump. The latest survey data shows that Democrats are slightly more likely than Republicans to believe that UFOs are extraterrestrial in origin, as opposed to being natural phenomenon or human-made. More Democrats than Republicans also say they want the government's UFO intelligence made public. This doesn't mean that the GOP can take over the Democrats' claim to be the party of science, given Republicans are more likely to believe in Bigfoot than Democrats. According to one poll, man, this is getting very complicated. The Democrats like aliens more than Republicans, but Republicans are more likely to push Bigfoot. Okay, the truth is out there. We've been promised by Mulder and Scully, the alien-hunting FBI agents on the television show The X-Files. Whether we'll get to the truth in the Department of Defense report expected by June 25th is another story. The New York Times reported Thursday that 2 senior administration officials briefed on the report said it offers no definitive answers on where the mysterious spacecraft spotted by military pilots come from, who was flying them, or came from, who was flying them. Meantime, here's why some Republicans might be more inclined to stand with Trump on this issue than to believe in ET. And there's some tweet here. Trump tells Bongino that he's not such a believer. I don't know if we want to play the clip. Is this a clip to be played? Do you want to play it?
I'm not really interested in whether Dan Bongino is a believer in aliens.
If it flies like a duck, while the GOP doesn't have an official position on UFOs, it does have a voice in 2 widely read conservative publications, National Review Online and The Daily Wire, both recently published online essays skeptical of alien visitors. And we don't have to get into all that. It's, your typical... It's interesting, though, because those arguments are from the more scientific, the traditional scientific view of like, what's that? What was that thing? I can't remember what it's called, where there's like a paradox where if we haven't seen them yet, if they exist, why haven't we seen them yet? Do you remember what that was called?
Is it the
Fermi's?
I was going to say Fermi paradox, but I don't think that's it.
I don't know if this is Fermi's paradox. Maybe somebody in the chat remembers.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the arguments made there are from the scientific viewpoint of it, the traditional scientific viewpoints of aliens. A minority belief, a writer for the Washington Post recently concluded that there is rare bipartisan agreement on the subject of UFOs.
Yeah, it is the Fermi paradox.
Is it?
Nailed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Citing, among other things, Obama's remarks and GOP Senator Marco Rubio's concern about sightings over U.S. military bases. Yada, yada, yada. We get it.
I don't know if I do get it. What exactly is this article trying to say?
Okay, well, we'll get to the bottom here. A minority belief. Hold on, let me see. No, fascination and fear. This is the last paragraph here. Regardless of what Obama or Trump say, Americans' thoughts on UFOs are more likely to have been influenced by Hollywood than by political leaders, according to an NBC report. From the 1982 film E.T., the Extraterrestrial, to the 1996 thriller Independence Day, to the comic Men in Black trilogy, filmmakers have long exploited consumers' fascination and fear about aliens visiting Earth. Men in Black director Barry Sonnenfeld told NBC's Daniel Arkin, quote, "If there are aliens out there, I can't imagine they're nice, and I don't think we deserve to be treated particularly nicely. Let's face it, humans are the virus of the planet." Whoa there. While Sonnenfeld's political leanings are unclear, his, quote, "humans are the virus" take is definitely not a conservative view. But don't worry, you can be a Republican and welcome our alien overlords in good conscience, as conservative commentator Matt Walsh recently said on Facebook, quote, "When it comes to aliens, I'm going to be the only guy at the Daily Wire who doesn't get immediately zapped with the death ray." Okay. And Scholes, the author of, quote, "They Are Already Here," said that belief in aliens and UFOs is not necessarily incompatible with religious faith. In fact, some research suggests that people who aren't religious are more inclined to believe in aliens than the religious, quote, "because humans in general crave meaning whether they go to church or not," Scholes said. Quote, "After all, the idea that there are more advanced beings out there and that there's something more to the universe than just this life on Earth is not so different from the basic idea behind most religions," she said. As Reed, a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons, said in his New York Times essay, quote, "I have never intended to prove that life beyond Earth exists, but if science proves that it does, I have no problem with that." Hey, that speaks to my point earlier. No problem for the Mormons. So I don't know. I don't know that there is a point. I think the point is that it's not so clear whether if you're a Republican or Democrat, if you're for aliens or against it.
No, the point is, hey, elites, the alien issue is not divisive enough. So let's pick up the rhetoric here. We need to create some division. Let's do this. Either that or, again, just another example of why aliens would become sort of the focal point accepted by both sides to, be used as a tool for a one world government or a one world religion or a one world currency or anything. It is sort of in essence a globalist fantasy. Mm-hmm. That there was something bigger. I mean, that's how the playbook has always worked. Something bigger to give reason for a centralization of power. They'll call it for unity or coming together or whatever, but really it's just for centralizing power. Whether they never let a good disaster go to waste, whether it's a pandemic to try to bring people together, whether it's a terrorist attack, whatever it is, aliens coming down, it's a good excuse to take drastic steps to centralize power. Again, just creates a sort of divine ruling class that can do whatever they want.
And it's interesting because the elites have a couple options here, because they have the Alex Jones narrative.
We're made by the aliens.
That's one possibility, right? That, we've proved aliens and all signs point to we are the creation of this alien civilization. Mm-hmm. The other one is we're being invaded by aliens and we must come together to fight the invading aliens. And
actually, it can work either way.
Years ago,
or one and then the other.
Well, I was going to say, years ago, I had this theory that I think I wrote it in the blog, the Face Like the Sun blog that got taken out. That what might happen is we're going to have our alien brothers revealed to us first that like, hey, here are the good guy aliens, but we got to prepare because the bad guy alien is coming to get us. And that's the return of Jesus Christ.
That is a good thing to point out.
Yeah.
That is sort of all these conversations presuppose that there is one group of aliens that are, have the same motivation and that we can respond to uniformly. When, it may be the case. And I don't think that it gets talked about enough in the conversation that in the sort of disclosure, it may be revealed that there is multiple factions of aliens, all with different motivations and different consequences. And then not only do you just have like a one global response to aliens, you have to have, then you get politics involved. Well, Republicans support the Gazorpazorps while Democrats support the Phlebians. Oh no, even more of a reason to go to war.
I mean, I kind of laid it out there, but I think the idea that, the quote unquote good guy aliens come first and then get humanity to unite to fight against the bad alien that's coming really fits the narrative of
he's wearing white robes and he's riding a space horse.
He's coming
Don't
on
fall
the clouds.
for it.
He's coming on the clouds. He's here to harvest half of humanity,
right.
The rapture.
They'll just
and all
disappear.
That.
Yeah.
Thanos.
All right. Well, let's keep moving. We got some Wackchin stuff to get into.
Wackchin.
A pandemic special.
Okay, folks, we're going to start out here coming from BaytownSun.com, covering Southeast Harris, Chambers County, and Southwest Liberty County. The headline is the latest. County death toll falls with methodology change.
What?
Oh, isn't it funny how that happens? A Northern California county has changed its methodology to record coronavirus deaths, causing its fatality figures to decrease by 25%. Imagine that. When you stop counting the people who die in motorcycle accidents as COVID deaths, your numbers are going to go down. The official COVID-19 death count of Alameda County in the San Francisco Bay Area fell from 1,634 to 1,223, 1223, after officials changed the criteria for fatalities to match state and national definitions.
What was happening
regular
before?
math? If they start doing regular math that everybody else is doing, imagine that. The fatalities fall. Previously, the county had included any person who died while infected with the virus. The Alameda County Public Health Department says its methodology change does not disproportionately impact reported deaths for any specific race, ethnic group, or zip code. Okay, good, I guess. Nobody was asking, but I guess you do need to virtue signal.
They're woke.
It is California. Statewide, more than 62,000 people have died from the coronavirus. So there you go. This is just another example of what we've been seeing recently is only after the vaccine has been made available, everybody starts recounting the deaths with, I don't know, maybe the more logical approach at counting deaths, which is counting people who died of the coronavirus and not counting anybody who hasn't.
Well, even then, we covered all that stuff last year, but even then it's kind of hard to nail down exactly, what the cause of death was.
Yeah. And again,
just
to point out the details, it says previously the county had included any person who died while infected with the virus, which included, gunshot victims, motorcycle accidents. I mean, those are the two most fun examples, but, stuff like that. But they still have not. The problem that we've seen in the past is not just the really obvious ones, but it's the comorbidity factors, which is like, someone has cancer and diabetes and whatever. And then they catch COVID and die. And it's like,